Never in doubt, Fossy?
Yeah, it was hard yards. Their efficiency was just exceptional early. So they couldn't miss a target inside 50, and they certainly weren't missing goals. So that kept their scoreboard ticking along, and probably perhaps we weren't as clean at times. But to be sort of half time, we sort of felt like things weren't going too bad. I don't think they're going great, but it was important for individuals to turn some of their own performances around. I thought Daniel Rich and Pierce Hanley probably a little bit quiet in the first half, really run out the game really strong. Andrew Rains's role on Harvey was a really important one for us throughout the match, and sort of the tide started to turn a little bit. So it was a really good finish. Rang very strong. That's 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. So we've been able to finish off real strong.
Sorry, what did you say in the three-quarter time?
I can't even remember my own speeches. It's probably not necessarily worthwhile sharing, to be honest with you. But we were in strike distance. That's all they needed to know, and that we'd finished off some games pretty strong, and they should have some confidence in their legs and let it carry them the journey.
Do you get a buzz seeing the way you can play when you get up and going?
Well, I do. I think it's, I mentioned the group, we've had a few of these teams that, those classic 8-point games, you can say, teams been around us on the ladder. We've had a lot over the last couple of years, and we haven't been able to get that, we haven't been able to win those ones. We've won some, unbelievable matches in terms of top 4 teams in the last couple of years, but that one that's just sort of sitting around on the ladder, for some reason, we just haven't been able to rise the occasion against those teams. So to do that tonight was important, and to do it on back-to-back wins, it was the first time for the year. And we've also won a few games in a row at the Gabba now, so we obviously, our home is very, very important to us.
Winning 2 in a row too, Vossi, first time this year?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Wins together.
Yeah, and at home. I mean, that's the first and foremost. Any progression the team has to, when you're in a state team, you've got to look after your home venue. So, that's to give the enjoyment factor to our fans and get people along and people talking about us in the streets, and that's what we're after. So to get a few in a row now is pleasing, especially at this venue.
You mentioned North's efficiency, and also you've spoken in recent weeks about trying to improve the skill execution of your own side. Were you pleased with the second half in particular in that regard? 18-9 wasn't a bad final return.
Well, we had a lot of the ball in our forward half, so probably the possession rate was a little low, but it was more probably because of the fact that it was in our front half a lot and we were going back inside 50. So we just had to be patient. I thought we owned the ball when we needed to, and there's still always things to tidy up, but certainly from the guys thought through the situation pretty well, and we got some good movement around stoppages, which was a very important area. So our midfield was important in turning that around, because without ascendancy around the clinches, we wouldn't have been able to turn that around.
Well, what about Sam Mays? I think he had 4 assists on top of his 3 goals tonight.
He's been really steadily progressing, across the season. So, he's a first-year player. We don't expect too much. We're just after a strong physical effort from him. He runs exceptionally long, and if you keep turning up, eventually you start turning up in the right spots at the right time, and he did tonight.
Just something on Pierce Hanley, Michael. What do you think he sits at now?
Well, I thought Daniel and Pierce in the first half, I thought they were quiet, but without both of them in the second half, then we certainly wouldn't have got that result. So for them to both have an impact after half time was very important to us, yeah.
Just talking about, I guess, winning those games against the teams around you on the ladder. Tonight's win sort of show that sort of maturing, I guess, of your side, that rise to the occasion against the teams that you're really looking to get ahead of.
Well, I hope so. I certainly know the guys have been shooting for it for a while, and we just haven't been able to get the deal done. Tonight we did, so hopefully that gives us some confidence coming season. They've handled it very well though. Straight away we're into, we get straight away into what our preparation starts to look like next week in Darwin. So it's replicate that consistent performance. That hasn't changed for us. More probably particularly from the bye and our training and how much we're holding that. So we'll keep doing that, same mundane routine, repetition, and it's certainly working.
So three wins from the last 4 weeks. where do you sort of assess your chances of maybe even making the top 8?
No, no. Well, I just told you about next week, so it goes to show you how far I'm thinking ahead.
Don't have finals aspirations, Martin?
Well, I just told you that I'm thinking next week. So, honestly, it's absolutely the furthest thing from my mind.
Cool, thanks guys.
No worries.
Thanks, Vossy.